Assalamu alaikum, dear sisters and brothers. For tonight's dinner, we're preparing two dishes. We have a main dish and we have a dessert. Our main dish is called Kabab Hussaini, and that's basically a lamb kebab on wooden skewers with potatoes, onions, and tomatoes, and a tomato sauce. And our dessert, it's a very special dessert. It's special for Ramadan, and it's usually prepared and served in Ramadan only in northern parts of Iran. And that's called Reshteh Khoshkar. And it's a very fancy dessert. It's very easy to prepare, but the look of it's very nice and elegant. So we will start with marinating our lamb, and then I'll show you how to put them in a skewer and cook them, and then we will proceed with the dessert. So I'll grab the ingredients for my kebab and I'll be back. So here are the ingredients for Kabab Hussaini. Basically, it might look a lot, but they're very simple. So I'll just show you what we have here. So we need 1 onion for marination, and we need some lamb cubes. You should use like a tender piece of meat for it, because we're gonna cook it in a pot. It's called kebab, but it's cooked inside like in a pot over the stove. And for that we need new baby potatoes. We need these small onions. You can use these ones or the white ones, doesn't matter. And we need also cherry tomatoes and some green bell pepper and eggplants. You can add them, or they're not part of the recipe, but I like them, so I'm adding them. Also we need, for the marination, we need a lemon, and we need some olive oil and some pomegranate paste. And for the cooking, we need tomato paste, and of course for the marination we also need some salt and black pepper. So I'll just start chopping my onion to marinate the lamb cubes. Now I'm gonna just cut my lemon in half and just squeeze it over the meat and onions that I have. So I'll add some olive oil to this, and just a bit of the pomegranate paste, not much, and some salt and black pepper. I'll just use my hand to mix this, also to break these onions, just make them a bit smaller. I could have chopped them smaller, but I prefer doing it this way because it will release all the juices, juices from the onion onto the meat directly. It doesn't go into the board. So this is almost marinated. So actually I have to leave this for 1 hour. You can leave it on also like for 2 hours, 3 hours, or overnight. The longer you leave it, it's gonna give you a better result. So this is ready. I'll just put it in the fridge and let it marinate for 1 hour. Then I'll show you how to put them on skewers. So it's been a couple hours now. This has been marinating. I'll just start chopping my other ingredients, and I already peeled these, so I'll just chop the bell peppers. Okay, so I just cut the bell pepper into big chunks because this cooks very fast compared to the meat and the potato and also the onion. So I'll keep them big cuts. I'll put them here just beside my meat. And I'll take also the eggplant. I'll cut it into cubes. I will also cut them into big cubes, just maybe the same size of the meat pieces, the meat cubes. So now everything is ready to be like put on a skewer. I'm using these skewers. You can use the smaller ones, the thinner ones, any type, but because this doesn't fit in my pan that I want to cook the kebab in, I simply just made them shorter, just broke the end, simple, and now they fit properly in my pan. So I'll start putting these on a skewer. I'll start with an eggplant. You can start however you like. Just push it to the end, and I'll put a piece of meat, and then a potato, and then one onion, a tomato, like this, and then I'll repeat. Another piece of meat and an onion. You can do it the same order, you can just change the order however you like. You can also add other vegetables if you like, but usually it's you know, you need all the colors. Maybe you can use 3 different colors of peppers, like orange, red, yellow. But I like the green color because I already have the red from this and the lighter colors from the potato and the eggplant. So maybe I'll add another potato and a piece of eggplant at the end. And I have the skewer. It's very colorful, and also all these vegetables, very healthy. You're getting some meat, but majorly we're eating the vegetables. Just I'll put it in my pan, and I will continue with the rest of the meat cubes and the eggplant cubes and the bell pepper, potato, onion and tomato until I fill the pan, and then I'll show you how to make the sauce. So I finished threading my ingredients into these skewers. I have some leftover. I'll just basically add everything on the sides. I don't want to waste anything. Also the sauce from the marination. I have a few extra onions, 2 extra potatoes. I'll just add a few tomatoes. The tomato is very important to add extra. This will also cook and be mushed, and it will give it a very delicious sauce. And I'll also add the eggplants. I'll just fill all the empty spaces I have. So, and I'll use 1 lemon. I will just squeeze it over all these ingredients I have here. You know, you can be fancy and use one of those fancy lemon juicer. I prefer just to use my hand. So I'll clean here, I'll wash my hand, and I will be back to show you how to prepare the sauce. So I just have some warm water here. To this I'll add some tomato paste. I'll just mix it until there are no more lumps. I'll add just a bit of pomegranate paste to this, about a tablespoon or so. And just a bit of olive oil. And some salt and some pepper. So here I have my sauce. I'll just drizzle it over the skewers that I prepared, and I'll place it over high heat with the lid on, and when it starts boiling, I'll just reduce the heat to medium, and I will let it cook for about 40 minutes until the meat is fully cooked and it's tender. You can also add another vegetable to this, which is the small chilies, the hot ones, if you like. I usually add it. It gives it, like, you know, a very nice heat, and also it adds more flavor. So today I'm not using it, but you can use it. I'll take this to the stove and I'll just cook it. So now we're going to prepare the Reshteh Khoshkar. It has two parts, filling and batter. So first I'll start with the batter. I'll just need a bowl and I'll measure my ingredients. So I'm using here like flour, or you can use rice flour. The original recipe is with rice flour. The rice flour, if you use rice flour, your dessert will be like much more crunchy, and it will have, of course, that extinct rice flavor to it. And to this I need to add some water. So the batter is very, very simple, basic, flour and water, and that's it. I'll add just half cup first, and I'll mix it, and I'll see if it needs more. I'll add more. So I'll add more water. I want it to be a batter consistency. It's not very runny, but at the same time I don't want it to be very thick. So this is the consistency I'm looking for, but I don't want any lumps in it, so I'll just keep whisking it until there are no more lumps. Or you can just simply pass it through a sieve, and to make sure like you have no lumps. Then you have to rest it. You have to rest the batter for about 1 hour, not more than that, but not less. So 1 hour is enough time for the batter to be ready to be cooked. So I'll just put a piece of cling film over this, just to make sure nothing, falls inside. So I'll just put a piece of cling film over this to make sure nothing falls in. And also the cling film helps the flour to, the gluten in the flour to rest, and, just releases the energy. So I'll leave this for 1 hour, and then after 1 hour, it will be ready to be cooked. Meanwhile, I'll prepare the filling for this recipe. We need walnuts, cinnamon, cardamom, and some rose water, and also some sugar. So what we do with the walnuts, we need to chop them, just a rough chop. We don't want them to be very small, but they shouldn't be also big chunks. So I just chopped the walnuts. I'll just put them in a bowl and continue with adding all the other ingredients and show you how to prepare the filling. To the walnuts, I'll add some cinnamon and some cardamom. Some sugar, and I'll just add just a bit of rose water, and actually the rose water just dissolves the sugar, and it will make the whole filling come together. Becomes more like a paste. So the filling is ready as well. Next step for this recipe, we have to prepare syrup. For the syrup, you need 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of water and some rose water, and you just have to boil it over medium heat for a few minutes, and just add maybe 1 teaspoon of lemon, just to avoid the crystallization of the sugar, and then you have the syrup ready. I'll show you how to prepare the syrup. Let's head back to the stove to prepare the syrup, then we will be ready to cook the batter for our dessert. So the batter for Reshteh Khoshkar, the dessert for today, is ready. I just will pour it inside this as much as I can fit. It has a special tool, but I'm using this, it's easier. That's a very professional one. We can use this and pour the batter in it. I'll take the batter back to my stove, and I'll show you how to make the lace sort of dough thingy for this recipe. You need a hot pan, no oil, nothing, and just simply drizzle the batter from the bottle into the pan, shaking your hand back and forth top to bottom. Fill all the gaps. That's it. Leave it for a few seconds until you see like all the white is gone. It's drying properly and the batter is cooking. And then you get this beautiful lace shape that we saw. So I'll just continue with the rest of the batter. I'll make as many as I can with my batter of these, and then while they're still warm, I'll show you how to fill them. So this dessert is special for Ramadan in northern part of Iran. But nowadays you can just find it in stores all through the year. We eat it at iftar time. So I just cooked all the batter that I had, the way that I showed you, in a pan. Just have a whole stack here. So I'll just take one, put it in a big plate. And actually, first you have to do this. Fold one side, fold the other side, just toward the center, and then just place 1 teaspoon of the filling, the walnut filling that we prepared, and just as if you're making a spring roll or something, just roll the whole thing all the way to the end, push it down a bit to make it a bit flat, put it on the side. Finish everything, then you have to fry these in oil. So I'll continue just rolling all my pancake laces that I have, and I'll show you how to fry it. So I finished rolling all the pancake laces that I made, and I'll head back to the stove to fry them. So now I'm frying the Reshteh Khoshkar, the dessert that we prepared. I'll add some oil to cover the bottom of the pan. I'll wait until it's hot, then I'll start frying the rolls that we prepared. So I'll just put the open side into the pan, just to make sure like the filling doesn't get out of the roll. So I have half cup of water here. I'll add to it half cup of sugar, and I'll let the sugar dissolve in the water, and when it starts boiling, I'll reduce the heat to medium, and I will let it simmer for 5 minutes. Then I'll add some lemon juice and some rose water, and this is our syrup for the Reshteh Khoshkar. So I'll take them off the oil. Don't want to burn them, just want them to get a beautiful golden color. lemon to the syrup. It started boiling, and I'll just add a dash of rose water to that. And I'll let it simmer for 5 minutes. So these are finished. You can just drop them directly into the syrup, but I prefer not to do that because it makes them soggy and I want them to stay crunchy. So I'll just drizzle them with a bit of the syrup, and you can just serve the rest of the syrup on the side, and if someone likes it sweeter, they can just add more syrup to it. Use my cookbook Authentic Iran, explore Iran's culture, and learn how to cook more than 100 of Iran's delightful recipes. Get your copy on Amazon or on exlibris.com.
Bye.